Yeah, the main character does look pretty young. Damn, what the hell? Damage numbers. We'll keep that off. Let's do the default settings. Welcome to the Mortal Shell 2 beta. Alright, let me check all my settings. It's weird. Why is it... You can specify the amount of frames? Interesting. Very high is probably not going to go well. All right. Well, let's see.
When the old prisoner broke his bonds, the foundling rose to the sky and became a beacon. Fulgrim fell quiet for a time until the Undermether arrived. At first, her remains were worshipped, yet that was not enough. They carved temples from her bones, pilfered the wealth of her womb. But within her helm, a foul passenger festered, whispering madness, until it broke free. Kin turned upon kin. The temples were ravaged, her eggs lost. She feared all her ova were gone, spoiled, tainted, but one did survive. A strong one.
Oh, is that the thing we were carrying? Yeah, I'm excited for Code Veronica. FPS actually seems alright. 100 FPS right now.
It's time, child.
For now.
Wake up.
You think you're one of them? You're not. You hatched here, but you belong somewhere else. Arise, Harbinger.
FPS though, it's actually pretty good. I'm surprised. Runs pretty well. We started Gothic yesterday. I do want to play more Gothic, but I really wanted to check out the demo for this. Roll weed. At 1,000 in inventory grants total immunity from all damage sources? What? What? That sounds kind of troll. I will say the game looks really nice. It actually is running smooth too, at least for now. Maybe this is like tutorial level and it's not that big of a level. I try the other camera setting. Yeah, action is definitely more Souls-like. I honestly, I think I prefer the action camera. I don't like it being so fucking close.
Go on ahead. I need a few more flowers before I can join the others. I'll be done soon. You go on. I'll be done soon. You go on.
Can't even attack.
I want to meet the Undermother first.
You don't deserve for this.
I'm going to meet her and you can't stop me. I'm going to meet her and you can't stop me.
I think I feel her presence. The Mother. She's near. I think I feel her presence. The Mother. She's near.
If only I could be so wild and carefree today.
What is going on here? Getting Windmill Village vibes.
I'm scared, Lavender. What if Mother doesn't like me?
Something to remember us by. Something to remember us by. Come on, Lavender. Will you dance with me? Guess not.
I don't know how to dance. Do I have gestures? Oh shit. Bar stones. Infusion tar stones, ability tar stones, combat and support.
Please, don't hurt Nevi.
Fetch the bucket.
No!
We need it.
I'm not ready to die. Please, let me go.
Oh, Bambi.
We're meeting Metha today.
Lavender. We're ready for you.
Come closer. This night, Aros. He was once like any mortal. Driven by the illusion of self. Now he's pure. A vessel to be filled. With purpose.
How do I fill him?
Your purpose. You're more than a weapon, child. Find what remains of me.
I think my game sound might be a bit too loud. Damn. The Iconoclast. Sidearm, untarnished seal. Block incoming attacks. I have 3 shots. The bird. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Oh. What the fuck is going on? Okay, I'll be back in a moment. All right, Ruck.
You may call me Rook.
Rook.
If you had a mouth.
Oh.
Keep going. We must get you to your new home. Keep going. We must get you to your new...
My new home. What's this? Gloom. Just killing some peasants. Let's see, can we shoot one of them? Man, I wish I could jump. I wonder if you can launch in this game. They removed jump. Oh yeah, because the first game actually had a jump, right? I don't think I can jump. Firing a sidearm costs resolve, which regenerates when landing melee hits. Oh, okay.
Of your strength, child.
Yeah, okay, I get it. You... Let me... Am I communing?
To me!
Oh, I turned him into a rock? It's followed us for days. The crow beast, I know it. Something in its talons glinting in the daylight. What is it has it clutched in its claws? What does it want from us? Why does he laugh? This is our checkpoint. Cleanse beacon. Enter the beacon to attempt the challenge of cleansing it of all corruption. Oh. Bring to Franz to discover its true purpose. A shower of light and fire, she arrived, a great scattering multitude. We knew not what to call these fallen vessels, but they were surely beacons, and so we carved her temples from these very walls to shred and protect her ova. For the chosen few, the disciples of the Blessed Mother, today on this most auspicious day, we pray for something. The big elevator. What if there's something underneath it? Heavy attacks probably work on the shield guys, I assume. What the hell is that? Yeah, but how do I get... Oh. Or anything else that... That's probably fine. I haven't actually used the parry yet. It's weird that you have to pick up the coins.
Serves you as a brother.
Each shell can perform unique abilities. Using shell abilities cost resolve. Petrifies nearby enemies, leaving them unable to act. While hardened, they take no damage but suffer break damage instead. Okay. Damn, the heal doesn't do much. Am I toxic? Damn, I'm getting giga fucked up. This is not really where I want to be. Are they... How do I use it? Oh wait, heals a small amount when picked up. Oh, maybe you can't actually use it anymore. Amazing. Okay. You don't just instantly die when you're out of your shell. No way, dude.
Your shell serves you as a brother.
I don't know what was what was applying toxic to me. Do these guys like explode when they die or something? I want to go get my juice back. These fucking enemies, man. What the fuck, man? He's summoning more? I did it. He didn't even drop anything. Damn, dude. Wait, where the heck is my stamina? I felt like I was out of stamina there, but... I don't know, I was like trying to sprint, but I couldn't.
Fuck.
Buddy? There's a strange crop above, I swear it, no one believes me, but it is too big. As it passes, its shadow covers our camp, and worse yet, heard it chuckle like a madman.
Come on, tosser.
And the gun is so strong. What is this? Oh, come on. I'm gonna see if there's a checkpoint behind this guy, because I'm kind of hurting. It just drops down to another fucking place. We can actually drop down here too. Well. Bro, this area is... I feel like we should have went the other way, but now I'm like committed to going this way.
Your shell serves you as a brother.
Go, 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 go.
Drive to me!
The gun does a lot of fucking damage. So slow. Is that a grab? Bro, I didn't even see the red! Holy shit. Dude! Okay, you really cannot side strafe that. You actually need to, like, time your roll as it's about to hit you.
Get up.
Your shell serves you.
I haven't seen bear traps yet.
Two arms.
Dude, I can't even go for 2 hits, man! Oh. What the fuck is that, bro? No fucking way. I tried to parry. I tried to parry. I mean, we should probably go the other way, but I have 4,000 gloom here, bro. I don't want to lose it. I'm killing this fucking guy. I don't care.
Your shell serves you as a brother.
I don't even think this boss is that hard. He only has like 2 or 3 moves. But he just fucking... Just like the grab is so fast. And you can't like animation cancel your attack. Oh my god. Grab. Grab. Woo! These are just for gloom. They really doesn't give much at all, though. Oh. It's the white stringy thing? You mean the thing that drops the upgrade materials that I already hit 15 minutes ago?
We got a rank situation.
Fuck that. All right. What's this? Is that a teleporter? Okay, this is... am I going back? Dude, I feel like I need to go like a different way or something. I feel like I'm just getting like deeper. Like, there's got to be like a town or something where I can level up. Cause I'm just, I don't know. Thing is, I don't know if you can like teleport between the beacons. I don't know, I guess we'll do it. Being indecisive. Oh, it's just a bunch of money here. Telling you, Laura, this is the spot. Plenty of rats to eat. Nice little tree to piss on. Very defensible, too. Only one way in or out. What more can a Brev ask for? Brev. Oh, can I, like, jump up here? Oh. You want to stay and watch, but your wedding is soon? What?
To bring my over back.
Use your guard. Perfect guard, yeah.
You must survive.
I'll perfect guard you. The left path is optional? Yeah, but I just did the left path. Anyways, it's just a demo. It's okay if I miss some stuff. I'm not too worried about it. Beta, demo, whatever, man. It's the same thing.
quiet. No brigands. Not even.
It's the red. I think it's like an indicator that an enemy is attacking me, but
I can't explain it, but I feel as if there's something that I should remember. Something dangerous.
well, I know you can switch it off in settings. That's not the issue.
I'm just mad.
The issue is there is no enemy near me.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong.
I have no heals. Torch. This would go hard on Switch 2. On Switch 2, it's probably going to run at 20 FPS. What's up, Dave? Is Devin here? Oh, what the? How did I stagger him? No, is it scripted too? Dude, I was so close. No. No? It's not scripted? Yeah, no, but that's not what I mean. Mortal Shell 1 had the same thing where, like, I guess we just get our shell back. There was like a tutorial boss you could fight, but you didn't have to beat him. Oh, we can harden now. Okay. Oh, so you don't have to use the harden though. Cause, okay, right. Cause you can use the parry seal or the harden. My stream recordings are regionally blocked. Well, I have like the 1440p setting on for my stream, but you should still be able to watch the VOD, no? Like if you lower the quality or something? Maybe not. Tonic actually worked. I could hardly lift a quill before I drank it. Now look at me. Finally I can... something. I don't know. I mean, if enough people are having issues, I could turn off the 1440p streaming. I don't really know if it makes that big of a difference anyways. Just thought I would try it out again, because they said they've made, like, improvements to it and stuff, but... Oh, Blessed Mother, forgive us for our ignorance. We only sought to give seed to your precious ovum, but instead we gave birth to something. I do like that this game actually seems pretty well optimized though. Like I mean I'm at 120 FPS right now.
Come. Look. A lone egg. On the verge of spoiling. Perhaps the harbinger. And plenty.
Where the hell is that bird? Oh. Oh.
This is what you were hatched for.
It's safe now, in your hands. Bring the ovum back to me.
Now we got the egg on our back. Alright, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. We got a map. All right, I'm back. This is our map. I wonder what like the scope of this game is gonna be. I mean, it's been a long, like, I don't know if this game's been in development the whole time since like Mortal Shell 1, but I feel like this game's gonna be quite a lot larger than the first game. Coin. Can be traded for 500 coins. Oh wow. How long did it take me to beat the first game? The first game was pretty short. I think it took me like one stream. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed by this demo so far. Game looks really nice. It feels good. I hope we get some other weapons and stuff we can try out. Oh, the first is fine, yeah. I'd recommend it. I get it when it's on sale or something. PC won't be able to run it. I mean, the game's running quite well for me, and I'm on like max settings. I don't have ray tracing on, but it seems like this game is pretty well optimized, though. Because I mean, there's a lot of like Unreal Engine 5 games where my FPS is struggling. No, you're on like a set... It's like a set pathing. As you're going up the branches. Bunch of the graphic settings are broken. Can change them, but nothing happens to FPS. Oh, okay. Well, regardless, the game seems to be running pretty well for me. Which I'm happy about. Have I completed the beta? Does it look like I've completed the beta? Is this the town? Interesting choice of music for a Souls game. Well, I think this game is more like metal coded.
Hush. Kneel before the Harbinger. More eggs are out there. We must keep searching. What? Go on then. Go on already. Go ahead, Harbinger.
Look, brothers, as the Undermother promised, it comes
Yeah, I've played Surge 1 and 2. Surge 2 is actually pretty good. I don't like Surge 1 as much. Surge 2 has some fun, like, parry mechanics in it. Yeah, for those who don't know, in Surge 2, the parry mechanic is like... You basically have directional parries, so you press the block button and then you move your right stick like in the direction that the attack is coming from to do a parry. It's honestly a cool mechanic.
Harbinger. I know what you are, where you have been. Haros is gone, but not forgotten. There are others like him, yearning for your bond.
Okay.
I am Zarel, the Shellkeeper, though I have none to speak of. These shells you seek, they're more than mere flesh. Their stories hold truth. An answer to the great question, perhaps. These shells you seek, they're more than mere flesh. Their stories hold truth. An answer to the great question, perhaps.
Oh, what is this? Locate shell. Oh. Okay. Level up. Hell yeah. I guess I could change the seal. Wait, which one do I have equipped? I have the parry one? Okay. Can try the harden. See what it's like.
Praise the blessed Mother. You're here at last.
What is this place? Ooh. Sidearms will deal break damage, exposing enemies to riposte attacks. It restores some health and resolve on performing a riposte attack. Equipping the Slayer Seal disables many achievements but enables others. The fuck?
Hey, you there?
Damn, this guy's lanky
You're
as
that
hell. Oh, there's a
special brave,
dog!
right? I've got something nice for ya.
Map. Axe and dagger search area.
First one's free, but I got plenty more if you got coin. Just come visit your new friend, Merrick.
I want to pet the dog.
Is it true you can bring back the dead? If they're special or something? I'll take that as a yes.
The shop's a mess right now, but give me some time and I'll have it sorted. Anyway, come back soon.
Alright. The hell? Interesting.
In the flesh, our faith has been rewarded. Harbinger, we've prepared the Gloom Siphon for your coming.
Oh, okay. As you find more of these, you get more, like, XP to level up, I guess. Interesting. That's that way. Hello?
Forgive me. I am unworthy, but may I wash your feet, Harbinger? Wait, will you allow me this honor? I've prepared a milk bath.
Yeah, wash my feet. Peasant.
You honor me, Harbinger. The one who came before you was not so kind. He's dead now. I hope. You wish for another bath? These are strong toes. They will not fail us. Not like the others.
Yeah, I got some strong fucking toes. The hell's this?
I was told you'd find me, Harbinger. Come. I see you're prepared, but you have much to learn.
Oh, am I fighting? Yeah, but
I will test you.
Oh, damn.
Well done. Perhaps you are the Harbinger.
Infinite seal. Proper timing, parry incoming attacks, breaking enemies more efficiently but at a greater risk. Okay, so this one you have, like... You have to hit the parry, you can't guard at all.
Let's see what you can do. Well done.
Thank you. I don't know if that's the one I literally just did. I guess it is. All right. There's got to be someone I can spend my coin with.
I am your humble servant.
This is the path I... Wait, no, this is here.
Are you here to lend a hand?
Oh.
What's this? A piece of her. This part, it's what makes her purr. Well, hold on. I'll bring her back to life. Finally, her heart's beating again. It's my fault that her innate were filched. I dozed off a bit. I'd been toiling night and day. No breaks, no rest. Until, well, when I woke up, she was like this. Plundered. That was a long time ago. You're not a disciple, are you?
Can I use this thing?
You must be the Harbinger. Well, I'm Franz, and I've been told I have to help you.
Maybe I just need to talk to him enough. Okay.
We're all missing something. You know. Few get a chance to fix what's broken. But you can. At least for her. She'll do all the real work, as long as we keep her happy.
Maybe I can just interact with the machine.
She could do a lot more if we fixed her up.
Maybe I'll get a different weapon. I'm gonna hold off. I'm not going all the way. What the fuck? That's so fast. Is that where I've been before, or is this... I mean, I imagine it's a new area. You can just return to Marrowkeep whenever anyways. Rom fled in the night, not that I need him or any of the other half-wits. I will use my superior intellect to ascertain the true nature of the statue and unlock its secrets. More coin. Trial? What the fuck? Why didn't that do any damage? Oh, more money. Gorf? Oh. Oh, hello. You okay? He's got a frog in his throat. Oh, Gorf. I don't have any remedy for you. A mushroom? Here you go. These used to grow everywhere. Some would even hoard them. Gorf, by the way. Please take this. It's a small thanks. 2,000 coins for this. Damn. No problem, Gorf. Oh, I can't go that way. Oh, no, you didn't. have the harden on still. Dude, I'm getting shit on. I can't parry. Dude, I'm dead! Oh my god, that's so fast. Nice. Dude, it's so delayed. Dude, I hit the bear trap. Oh, I don't have any shells right now. Can I, like, shoot at it? Oh, he fucking baked it. Can I bait him into the bear trap? I don't know. I feel like if I remember correctly in Mortal Shell 1, I don't know if enemies actually would trigger the bear traps. Try though. Really just fucking slow walking, isn't he? Dude, that is so... The fuck am I supposed to know if he's doing that? I guess I can dodge. Okay. If he fakes. Oops. Dude. What is that? I parried him the first part and then I just got like fucking destroyed. Arbiter's Prize. Oh, it's a tar stone. Assume 30 resolve to infuse your weapon with Blood Curse. I have the wrong ability on? What do you mean? Increases burn resistance. Revered Gland. Consume at a beacon to increase your ability to use Mether's Pulse. Oh no, Jen. That's alright. Yeah, you can press the option button to go directly to the new item. I was just... Guess we'll use... Oh, okay. This is an extra heal. I see. Yeah, Summer Games Fest yesterday was really good. A lot of cool announcements. Who's making that sound? You're doing bingo? Nice. What the? So I can buff my weapon now? Okay. Yeah, the new Stellar Blade looks cool. I mean, I actually really enjoyed the gameplay from Stellar Blade 1. I know a lot of people just see it as like a Gooner game or whatever, but the combat is actually a lot of fun. Dude, what the fuck? What even just happened? Did I shoot myself by accident? Dude, he just did like half my health. Well, there goes my money. That was fucking brilliant. I wish the gun could, like, pierce. Wait, my... Oh, okay, I didn't actually lose everything. I guess you still keep some. The gun in this game is pretty satisfying, I will say. Alright, well, I guess let's just go in the portal. Gosh. Oh, these like trees you can hit. Oh, I guess that one. Oh, there's a button here. Freedom is in sight at top of the gate. The latch sits exposed. If only I had some way to reach it, but at last all I have is this quill. Wait, so does this just gives resolve, I think? Oh, what is this? Bring to Franz. Oh, okay. Slaying foes grants you leech. Sure. Ah, that's why they give you this. The hell? Okay, wait, what did this button do? Yeah, there's this like mod for Valheim we're gonna try out today. See what it's like. Did it open a gate up here? Is it the handcrafted map one? I think so, yeah. I don't know, it turns Valheim into like an RPG or something. I don't know. It sounds cool. So we're gonna try that out today. Close. Oh, map. Okay, so there's... What is going... Oh, it's showing me these gates. Oh, I want to get the axe and the dagger. I'm so dead, dude. Shattering stone? Proves melee stagger damage. Okay. Dude, there's like so many of these that you can have equipped. Oh, this is the shell. That's why it's doing this. The rash. Apparently the demo is pretty long.
Locked.
Killing you.
Your remedy. I need more.
I see. The rash has worsened.
Oh, never mind.
But I'm afraid more would be unwise. It's quite potent.
We'll see about that.
Please, you're going to hurt yourself.
I'm already hurting. What's the difference?
Alright, let's try this out. Teal gains shadow and prepares to perform a shadow strike with his dagger. Lingering shadow strike. Dashing just before getting struck grants Teal shadow and inflicts stagger damage. Oh, wow. Oh. Where are we going? Why does every one of these sections have to have a lift? To load? I feel like it already loaded though. Maybe you're right. I like shooting my gun. It's satisfying. Fuck is that? Oh, trial? Phantom Blade Zero, yeah, that'd be cool. What did this guy take damage from? Damn, I'm getting like giga poisoned. Is this a shortcut? Where I fell down. Oh, if I like cleanse the corruption, then I can. I guess we just have to do this trial to get rid of all this shit here. Oh man, I'm so cooked. Can't see shit, yeah. Guy didn't have his grab attack that time. What? Oh. Thought I was like stuck. These weird like tree things that you attack. Oh wait, we're just back at the beginning. Oh. I like the game so far. I think it feels pretty nice. I want to use a different weapon though. Because we can still find the axe and dagger. Fuck you, buddy.
Two arms.
No way. Your Yarna, it sounds rather festive in the village today. Perhaps the trouble is over. Okay, where am I? How do I open the map? There's gotta be like a... I can't even press L1 to go to the map. There's gotta be a better, like a button you can press. Oh, left on the D-pad. Are you guys friendly? Doesn't seem like it. Damn, Granny. Hello?
Papa?
Oh my god, oh jeez.
I don't even know.
Ooh, a chest. 3 offerings needed. Seems we lost some of the other guys. Alright, we're fine.
The music stopped. Well, for now at least. I'm not opening this door. Are you mad? I don't even know who you are. The music stopped. Well, for now at least. I'm not opening this door. Are you mad? I don't even know who you are.
Stop talking. Let me pick up this mushroom. Ooh. Hello.
Go away. Haven't we given enough already? Is the Lady of the Woods not satisfied? Be gone already. Be gone already.
Alright. Sorry, man. I wonder what that even means, offerings. And we are barely surviving here.
Who is it at such an hour? You sound strong, powerful. Will you break down my door?
What the?
And show me how big and strong you really are. Let's pretend you're a brigand and me, a princess, locked in a tower by her cruel father. Oh, forget it. You're too weak. Oh, forget it. You're too weak.
Damn. Wait, are these candles offerings? I don't really see how they would be, but... Wait, I actually think they are. Oh yeah, because this is the other one I lit. No, you actually can't eat the shrooms. Oh, nice. Shell points? Hey, Distro. Whoa. These enemies are basically just fodder, though. Oh. Okay. Alright, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Ember Seed Stone. Use your sidearm with burn. controls are fine. I find it a weird choice that they made it that enemies drop coins and you have to like manually pick them up. All right, I want to get the... It's over here. I want to get the axe and the dagger. Is this a merchant?
Brigand, I hear your belly speak.
Cage key.
It hungers. The pub is yours.
Oh, it's this guy. Trade it for 2,000 coins. Can I sell?
When he's come, you must be famished.
It's the guy from the first game. Well, it's like a baby one. I like the game so far. I don't know how I feel about having these like trees that you constantly have to like hit. Maybe there's like faster ways of breaking them. I feel like it might get kind of annoying after a while. Mushroom Village Key. I feel like it's showing that the... I think it's, yeah, it's like past this door. I think we need to get them, I think we need to get the village key before we can get the sword and dagger. Or no, whatever it's called. Axe and dagger. Guess we need to go this way. Gonna play God of War 2018. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a fun game. I think you'll like it. Still has Kratos in it. Hey, I'm honestly, I'm still excited for the new game. I don't really care that much. Oh. Okay, yeah, let's go open the chest. Oh, sorry, it's so fucking hot in my room. I need to, like, turn up the AC or something. Fucking melting here. Dead Man Stone. Melee attacks have crit chance. Oh. Oh, I got a loot. Wait, I can... Did I go in here? Oh wait, this is just... Granny. I think I like the gun more, but this one is cool. Okay, and then this is back where I came in. I don't know, am I actually gonna miss something? I'm still exploring. Oh, right. Can I level up? Almost. Maybe use the loot back at the village. Yeah, maybe. Did I get the key? I might have missed that. Oh my god, the inventory is not great. I just have the lathe. Why can't I see her health? Weird. I think I just got a crit there. What is with this thing? Oh. I see. Oh. I was gonna say, I don't know how I'm supposed to get out of here now. Still don't know. Oh. Dude, the crits are insane. Can you crit with the melee attack? Okay. Enemies dying by a range attack will explode. Yeah, it's like Pinwheel. Let's go back to the keep. Is Gothic flushed? I mean, I'm just not playing Gothic right now. I do want to play more, but there's also other things I want to do, so... I'm sorry, I can't play multiple games at the exact same time.
She nearly jumped when you arrived. You must have something she wants. Come on, let her have it. She'll make herself even more useful. Pure obsidianite. It's almost maddening to behold. I must work quickly. Now, let's see what she can do for your armaments. Easy does it.
Oh, I can enhance sidearms now. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can't... You can't upgrade the loot.
As was foretold, you might be the harbinger to a bad future.
Hold on, I want to go to the lady. Because I think she can, like, unlock the skill tree for my shell or something.
Is that the thief? Let us discover his purpose together. These shells
Do I have to talk?
you seek, they're more than mere flesh. Their stories hold truth. An answer to the great question, perhaps.
I guess I just need level 1. Each level improves Shadow Strike. Poison immunity. Interesting. Crit chance. %300 stagger damage. Cool. Okay, so whenever I want to leave this place, though, I guess I have to go up to the top and, like, fucking drop in or whatever. I guess that's why they made the lift so fucking fast. I think it's here. Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but I do think, like, long term it might get a little tedious, like, going to the hub and then having to come back every time. I don't think I went to the right. Can I do something with the loot? Is that what you guys were saying I'm gonna miss? I feel like there's some, like, secret with the loot. Do I have to, like, play it for one of the NPCs? Gonna be here for a while. Well, I don't know. I mean, if I'm enjoying it so far, Salad. It's good. So we can't go that way. I was gonna say, can I really go in here, but not the other way? I was expecting this guy to be stronger. We just kind of shit on that guy.
Flesh forsake bone.
Oh, this is the beacon I unlocked. Can we go through here? Holy flashbang. Ow. Tar spore? Uses poison resist. It's interesting that items, like, I don't, have we even found like a consumable item? Like, nothing is like consumable. They're all like, they're like buff items or the, it's interesting. Yeah, the first game had a lot of consumables. No, there's no stamina. Oh my gosh. Dude, the gun is so good. Yeah, we have Harden. I'm not using it though. I have like the parry, which I guess I'm not using that much either. Oh, there's an offering. Oh, fuck. Oops. I had 2 heals left. I don't know why I didn't heal. Oh, shit. I didn't grab... Oh, that's okay. I guess I didn't rest at the other one. Didn't realize. Really?
Come here.
Come here. Not again. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna go over here. Hey, GMK. Ranged abuser. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's weird how each level up does like a different thing. Like you can't like choose what you want to put your stats in. They're just kind of like generic. Increase the strength. Or like one of your stats. Alright, let's see. Is there anything else over here? Well, there's one more candle that we need to light for the chest. Is that all of them? Oh no, they reset. Where's the third candle? Oh, it's in there? Well, fuck, I already used my cage key, though. can hit it? Oh. You can equip so many of these infusions or like upgrades. It's crazy how many like slots you have in this game. I don't have the dagger and axe. I can't get it yet. Or I don't know, cuz the dagger and axe was here, but I need the mushroom village key. I guess maybe I missed the key. Oh my god.
Welcome to the wilds.
Can I even go back here?
Bind him, break.
Yeah, I don't know. Where, yeah, I need a hint, guys. I don't know where this fucking thing is. Do I have to use the loot? Oh. Ah. Didn't realize there was one of these portal things here. Got anything else? You get what does it say for each 100 in inventory adds 5 max health? Bro, you don't get anything until you get 100? That's like it's insane. Gaze upon your king so true, back and back you shall pass through. Oh, we keep doing it? Oh.
To face me, oath. I'm kind of hurting. Oh, is this the weapon? Nice. All right. Alright, let's go to the keep and upgrade this weapon. I think we have the materials. This mechanic is so strange.
Eggbringer.
Welcome back. Find another little part. Easy does it.
Well, we have +2. Wait, what about the map guy?
If it isn't my best patron, or, well, really my only patron. $4,000 coins. Charged light attack, charged heavy. Oh, interesting. patronage.
All right. I think we want to go to the Seeping Mire. Which way did I come from? Oh. I remember now. No, you can't, like, control it. They do so much damage with that shit. I think they like explode when they die. I'm honestly not even 100% sure what's happening. Oh, I forgot to like increase my healing power. Wait, that's where I came from. That's the charge attacks. Yeah, I just need to equip it. Bro, what? What is that? Oh, I did it again. Oh my gosh, there's even more. Doesn't seem like there's anywhere else to go here. I guess this is just for the stone. Why can't I shoot them all with my gun? It's based on like the yellow meter. Like whether I can shoot my gun, I need resolve, which is the meter above my health bar. Basically, like, everything you use in this game seems to be tied. Oh, there was a checkpoint right here. It's a mana gun, yeah, basically. Am I gonna speedrun this? Maybe when it comes out. I mean, we'll see if it's interesting speedrun. Certain attacks with this weapon do a lot of damage. We haven't really had a chance to fight any like super cool boss yet though. Hopefully there's like a main story boss. At the end of the demo. Damn, his body still poisoned me there. That it? Wait, did we cleanse? We cleansed the corruption, right? Wait, no, we didn't. I can drop down. Wait, I just like buffed my gun? Is that what this one? Oh, infuse your sidearm with burned. Yeah, that's cool. Gun buff. Oh no. Dude, I don't understand these fucking enemies. You just get poisoned so easily. I think the demo isn't on console. I don't know. Well, we got a gland. Yeah, I don't know where I should, Wait, can I do this right now? No. I don't know where I'm supposed to go right now. Oh. I think I found it. Die. The gun does so much damage. This fight is so weird. What the? Ooh, a heavy round that detonates above the target. No, I'm not sponsored. I just wanted to check it out.
have come far.
I feel like we're getting close to the end of the demo now.
Be pleased. She once protected these lands, the eggs too, until she was gravely wounded by some strange, tentacled creature. In time, she healed with the help of those frog lickers. But she paid dearly. You'll see what remains of her. You'll see what remains of her.
What? Are you... What is going on? Etching needles. The boss time? Oh shit. Oh, it's Fat Wheelchair Lady. Oh my god, she killed me. I'm dead. Oh my god. I love running back to the boss. Chill, girl. Dude, I'm getting fucking shit on. Charge attack seemed quite good. She's shooting me? What the god, what was going on there, dude? I didn't attack for like 5 seconds. I thought I was gonna die. Magdalena's Memento. 70 resolved to rise into the air and unleash a flurry of ruthless strikes. Oh. Oh, that was easy. Maybe I could go past.
Come forth.
Cleanse all beacons in the beta. Okay. Yeah, I think we're close to the end.
You know your purpose. Bring the Over back to me.
Oh. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it was fun. The boss was definitely... I mean, I died once, but the boss was pretty easy. It was the first boss of the game, or like the first main boss, I guess, but... Yeah, it was fun. I'm looking forward to the full release.